He's in that mood today.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
Huh? All right, it is 6 o'clock, and I'd like to open up our city council meeting for Monday, August 5th, 2024. I ask that we please stand for the pledge of allegiance and remain standing.
You gotta do the roll.
Oh, I thought we order, and then we did the.
That's fine.
I don't
You
know
gonna-
why.
you're gonna
I've been doing
change-
this long
you're
enough.
You've been
You're
changing.
right, you're right. Sorry.
Ah.
Sometimes mistakes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us prepare ourselves for invocation. Most gracious and heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you this day to say thank you, oh
Thank
Father
you.
God. We thank you for all the blessings that you give us, oh Lord. We thank you for each and every individual that have come out today, oh Father God. We thank you for a beautiful community day that we had. It was peaceful with no incidents, oh Father God, and a beautiful day, that beautiful weekend that you've given us, oh
Yeah,
Father God.
yeah.
We thank you for that.
Thank you.
We also thank you, oh Father God, over these past few weeks, there was block parties and ward meetings and prayers. Lord, you watched over each and every one of them. We say thank you, oh Father God. We know that some are here for the loss of loved ones, oh Father God, and we just thank you for the opportunity to have them in our
Yes,
presence for the
yes.
time that you gave us, oh Lord.
Thank you.
Lord, we just ask as we move into the city council meeting that we continue to do things decent and in order. This we pray in your darling son Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. We can have roll call.
Yes, Mayor, you can.
Alderman Jackson,
Present.
Alderman Coleman, Alderman Evans.
Here.
Alderman Allen.
Here.
Alderman Smith, Alderman Murphy. Can she say aye even?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Alderman January,
Okay, let the record show that Alderman Murphy did call, send an email, said that she was ill, but she would like to be present through Zoom. So at this time, I'd like to see if we entertain a motion to allow her to come in via Zoom.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Allen, second Alderman Jackson, to allow Alderman Murphy to come in through Zoom. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Jackson,
Aye.
Alderman Coleman, Alderman Evans.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Smith,
Aye.
Alderman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman January.
Okay, motion carried. Do let the record show that Alderman January is here. It is 6:05. And moving forward, I see Jelly Belly has not made it in. Oh, there he is. Bill, how are you? Good, good. Yeah, just saw you snuck in on me.
I was early.
Yeah. All right, we do have some resolutions and to present today. The first one is William H. Kelly. He's the Vice President of Jelly Belly. I know it's quite lengthy, but I'd asked if our clerk would read the bio and book on Mr. Kelly. And
The
as
first two paragraphs.
Give her some water.
Okay.
Hit me a year.
Resolution, William H. Kelly. Bill. Whereas William H. Kelly was born on August 13th, 1941, to William H. Kelly and Marion O'Donnell Kelly. He grew up in Wilmette, Illinois. In 1963, he graduated from Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio, with a Bachelor of Science degree in economics. Upon graduation, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army and spent the next 2 years serving in the United States and Korea as an artillery officer. And whereas William H. Kelly married the former Joanne Edwards in November 1970, they have 2 children, Megan and Brian, and are proud grandparents. And whereas during his years in school, he worked at Goldlitz Confectionery Company in North Chicago, Illinois, during vacations. In September 1965, Bill began working full-time at Goldlitz as a management trainee. The Kelly family involvement in Goldlitz traces back to 1901, when Ed Kelly, Bill's grandfather, joined the company. Ed later married Joanne Goldlitz, sister of the company's founder, Adolph Goldlitz. Bill's father worked at the company from 1923 until his death in 1962. The Goldlitz family history of candy making dates.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just
Now therefore, be it resolved by Mayor Leon Rockingham Jr. and the City Council of North Chicago, Illinois, honors William H. Kelly for longstanding business success in the city of North Chicago.
Amen. Amen. There you go.
Let me just, yeah. You know, we recognized, Mr. Kelly, during our community day. He was our grand marshal, here for Community Day. He was the inaugural grand marshal, because there's only one time, and the first time you could ever be an inaugural. Everything else is the second and third. But he was our inaugural.
All right.
And the reason we did it was because of Jelly Belly.
Okay.
Being here in the city of North Chicago for many years. 111. 111 years.
Wow.
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 You know, yeah. And not just being in the community, but supporting the community.
Supporting it.
That's what, you know, really makes a difference sometimes, that supporting the community. Putting North Chicago on the map with Ronald Reagan having Jelly Belly in his office with a bowl. And Bill here was honored to be there at the White House, correct?
Wow.
With President Reagan at that time. But what always impresses me is, as no matter where I went in the country, and I went to a store, and I picked up a bag of Jelly Bellies, and I looked at the back, and it said, manufactured in North Chicago.
All right. All right.
Throughout the country.
All right.
So it's unfortunate that, you know, things and times have changed, and Jelly Belly has now, you know, moved on and will no longer be in our community. but we want to recognize and support those that have came and supported the city of North Chicago. So Bill, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
all
you.
the time that you've given to us. Thank you.
Oh. Well, the company's been here 111 years. I put in, I got cold. I put in 58 years, 2 months, 1 day.
All right.
in Chicago. And, we never had any problem. City's
Right.
has been wonderful to us, every step of the way, everything we did, everything we wanted to do. City supported us, and, we couldn't have asked for anything more, so we thank me. I thank you, Leon, I thank the
City Council.
city council and everyone who's involved in City of North Chicago, all those years of support.
We thank you right back at
Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
thank you.
Thank
There's
you.
nothing you can do about it.
You guys really want to read this?
No.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Bill.
all right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much. Thank you. So you know, it's not feel better. Thank you so much. You're kind of- Today and tomorrow.
Resolution. Now can I get a motion to pass? the
So
resolution?
moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. I think it was by Alan in January.
Yes, yes.
That the resolution be passed as presented. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. It is now on the records.
Nobody opposed it?
Nobody. The Peter family, please start forward. We do have a resolution for Herb Peter. And this one we will read in its entirety.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution Herb Geeter. Whereas Herbert Geeter was, I'm just saying Herb Geeter was born on November 25th, 1928 in Phillips County, Arkansas to Amos and Maddie Geeter. He relocated to Illinois in 1953 and settled in North Chicago. And whereas Herbert Geeter was married to Lovey, and he was the father of 9 children. All of the Geeter children attended North Chicago Public Schools. Herb had 27 grandchildren and a host of great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. And whereas Herb Geeter was employed with American Motors and several construction firms prior to establishing Geeter Backhoe Service in 1972, one of the pioneering African-American owned businesses in North Chicago. And whereas Geeter Backhoe Service has been awarded city contracts and performed quality work for numerous city administrations. Geeter Backhoe Service is yet equipped to serve this community with the addition of excavating, demolition, and truck services. And whereas Geeter Backhoe Service donated much to the betterment of the city through numerous donated projects. In 1979, assisted public works in snow removal during a major blizzard. In 2000, donated services to the Early Childhood Service Center at Yeager School to build a playground. In 2010, donated services to Learn Charter School to build a playground. And whereas Herb Geeter was a recipient of the North Chicago Senior Citizen Hall of Fame Award and several other awards during his lifetime. He was a lifetime member of Local 150 Operating Engineers and first Black operator in District 3, Lake County, Illinois. He held his CDL until he was 85 years old.
Wow.
And whereas Herb Geeter passed away on July 12, 2024. He was an inspiration to all and will be greatly missed. Our deepest condolences are expressed to his family, friends, and all who loved him dearly. Now, be it therefore resolved by Mayor Leon Rockingham Jr. in the city of North Chicago's council that Herb Geter shall be remembered for his accomplishments and dedication to his family and his community, and for longstanding business success in the city of North Chicago. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be spread upon the official journals and records of the city of North Chicago, and a copy presented to his family.
Okay.
You know, Peter Backup, you know, that's something that here in our city does mean a lot. I mean, Herb Geter, was a part of North Chicago. I mean, North Chicago kind of grew up around Herb Geter. I remember many projects. Yeah, I came on back in, can't remember where, Alden, but Herb Geter, when we had projects, he put it in, and I tell you, quality work. Quality work, this man worked tirelessly for the city of North Chicago. We thank you. We thank you for all that he's done for us. We appreciate it. This is just a small token to give back to your family, saying thank you for what he's done for us. Thank you so much. So, I know you, it's okay.
Hey, Mark,
Thank you on behalf of his family.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Mark,
And being that this is a resolution, and we want to place it on our record,
make a motion to put them.
it's been moved by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman January, that the resolution for Herbert Herb Geter be passed as presented. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations.
Okay.
All right, well. It's always good to do recognitions in the
Amen.
city. So,
Amen.
and we appreciate all that is done. All right, we got another resolution.
Yeah.
Illinois Municipal Treasurers Week, August 11th through the 17th. Is there a resolution on that? Do we like to pass that resolution, or do we need to read it also? It's okay. All right, clerk, would you read the last resolution?
Resolution, Illinois Municipal Treasurers Week. Whereas municipal government, to best serve the needs of the citizenry, must be operated with efficiency in an orderly, trustworthy manner. And whereas all monies received into the municipal treasuries are dedicated funds and are used only for their specific purposes. And whereas historically, the municipal treasurers have been designated as the official custodians responsible for proper management and investment of these funds. And whereas the efficiency and order with which government carries out its public functions is strongly reliant on procedures and accurate financial records. And whereas the municipal treasurer role, regardless of title, administers the procedures and keeps the financial records among other duties. And whereas an organized source of financial knowledge about a community and its government activities is vital to the smooth governing of that municipality. And whereas the municipal treasurers, regardless of title, provides and maintains such a body of knowledge. And whereas the strength of local government depends on the citizens' opinion of it. And such opinion is formed largely by the image set forth by the municipal government employees. And whereas the municipal treasurer, inclusive of alternative title and their department staff are likely in close contact with the citizenry on a daily basis and therefore is in a key position to mold sound public opinion. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the historic municipal office, which grew out of the traditions of our demographic heritage. Now therefore, I, Leon Rockingham Jr., Mayor of the City of North Chicago, Illinois, do hereby proclaim that the week of August 11th through 14th, 2024, be known as Illinois Municipal Treasurers Week in North Chicago, Illinois, in recognition of the vital services they perform and the outstanding community dedication they exhibit. In testimony thereof, I have hereunto set my hands as my official signature and cause to be affixed the seal with the City of North Chicago, State of Illinois, this 5th day of August, 2024.
Okay, you've heard the resolution. Could I get a motion to pass it?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman January to accept the resolution. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, everyone. Moving on, omnibus vote agenda.
Mayor Rockingham,
Alderman Allen,
I make a motion that we approve the omnibus vote agenda 5-1 through 5-9 as presented.
Second.
it's been moved by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman Evans, that the omnibus vote agenda be passed as presented. Are there questions on the omnibus vote agenda? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Jackson,
Aye.
Alderman Coleman,
Aye.
Alderman Evans,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Smith,
Aye.
Alderman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderman January.
Due to the fact that this is still in a part of the agenda that is not done in a germane way, my vote is no.
Motion carried. Public comment? Is there anyone under public comment?
Ashley O'Brien.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm just here because I'm trying to get some information.
Speak up.
I've been living, in my home for close to 3 years now. And I have some concerns regarding, my neighbors and the trash that they leave all over the streets and, the noise ordinance and stuff. I'm just trying to figure out when a resident has those concerns, what do you do? And when people don't follow those ordinances and stuff like that, what should happen or what will happen? And
Well,
who do I even reach out to? Cause
there's two things you can actually reach out to. One is our Economic Development Director, who is standing behind you. He can give you his card. Because we have code enforcers in regards to garbage and keeping up property. So,
Mhm.
and that's held by under his department. Also, noise, and that's handled out of our police department. You can contact them if the decibels are at a certain level and
well, it's not really about that. It's more like I have neighbors who get up and weed whack their entire lawn at like 6:45 on a Saturday. Last week I had a neighbor, or they don't live there, but they cut down a tree on a Sunday at 7:45 with a handheld saw. That's really loud. Just everything always happening before 7 a.m., 8 a.m., all these things on the weekend, and it's beginning to come alive.
you know, that is something, I don't know if there is anything directly we can do, because they, it's within a certain time. And I want to say it's either, and I don't quote me, but I think it's around 6, 7 in the morning. You have an opportunity to start cutting your grass and doing things like that, around your yard. There isn't. My understanding, if I gotta be corrected, I'm not sure, but at a certain hour, you gotta be able to cut your grass. So,
At
and
6
maintain
o'clock in the
your,
morning, on the weekend? That's.
I will check with our ordinances in regards to that. So, but I mean, that's just like garbage pickup. my garbage, a garbage truck comes through at 6:30 in the morning, wakes me up. I know every
I
Friday,
understand what you're
I-
saying, but
so-
that's very different than people waking up every single weekend and cutting and weed whacking the grass before 7 a.m.
we will check on the ordinance, get in touch with Taylor, the gentleman behind you. And he will also, and I will also find out in regards to that ordinance, what time limits are put on in order for a person to actually start doing yard work. Okay, I mean, there's, at some point, there is a time during certain hours you can do that. I know that on the weekends, loud music has to be off by 10, 11 o'clock, so neighbors can't be playing music. I think on the weekend, it goes to 11 o'clock. As far as people holding events or something in their yard. So there are stipulations that you have, that they have to follow, so that is something I will have to look into. Alderman January.
Look at it. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Mhm.
That'd be great. Thank
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
yeah, the city does have a noise ordinance. And while it's not specific in terms of time limitations, definitely directed toward nuisance noises such as the ones you're talking about
Right.
early in the morning. So, there is a reasonableness standard associated with it. But yes, this is something that the city certainly can help you with.
Thank you. Do I wait to hear back or is?
Yes.
Okay,
And give him your information so he
Okay.
can reach back out to you, so we can,
Okay.
okay?
Man.
Is there any, Alderman Allen?
And I just want, and I'm gonna piggyback what she's saying, and I agree with her. 6 o'clock in the morning cutting grass? Oh, no. Oh, no. We have to we're gonna get an ordinance set up, because I don't mind the garbage. But 6 o'clock in the morning, that's way too early. I know my buddy, he do construction work in Grays Lake. You go out there and start to tie up a lot more out there. You ain't gonna be doing it there, but it's up to us. We have the city council make the decision. Check it out, man, find out.
But
think-
and this ordinance may have been resolved, but I can remember sitting on city council, and I thought there was an ordinance saying what time you could
Right,
start
I thought it was.
to do work within your yard work or any other work.
Right.
So we'll just have to do some investigation. Can I go to Alderman Smith and then Alderman January? She's still there.
Your complaint is legitimate, but also I want to say, I'm glad to see that people are taking care of their lawns. There are a lot of lawns where they're not being taken care of. And that's an issue more so than that. It's an inconvenience, but at least your neighbor's trying to make his yard look nice, cut the trees down, cut the grass, so. Just keep that in consideration as well.
Alderman January.
We could just maybe bring the ordinance to us on the committee
Mhm.
take a look at it and
Right,
maybe it needs
to
be updated.
right.
You know.
Look at it.
And
It's
that's,
hard to say.
yes, I agree.
A lot of them are
We-
outdated.
Right, exactly, sure. And if that's the case, I'm gonna tell the LRS to not start.
No.
No, you let them do their thing.
Alderman Evans.
Yeah, one thing that she did point out is that they're doing it on the weekend and they're doing it really early. They're trying to stay away from code enforcement. That's why they're doing it on the weekend. And I'm pretty sure who they are. If we go to that neighborhood where she lives at, I'm pretty sure I can sit right here, right now and say exactly who it is. But I'm not. But I am gonna say, she is correct.
She's correct.
She's totally correct. And it is something that we're gonna look into. Cause I'm glad you did bring it to the city.
Right.
Cause we're gonna have to change it. If
Right.
if it's not in effect now, we definitely gonna have to change
Right.
it. And I would like to thank you for bringing it to us.
Mayor?
One other thing I will say also, as what was brought up by Alderman Evans, is that one of the things, and then you could pass this on throughout the community, is we're looking at bringing a code enforcer on the weekends, so that those that are out there doing things without the permit They do it on the weekends.
Exactly.
And so if we can shift our code enforcers to get some weekend time in, those issues may be resolved, also. So you can pass that on to your residents, that North Chicago will be putting on code enforcers on the weekends. So if you're building that fence or putting on that roof or putting on siding without a permit, that's, that you need to make sure that we are inspecting it to make sure it's done in the proper manner. We'll be out there looking for you.
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
and one more thing I just want to say, young lady, one more thing I want to say too. It's important that you get in touch with your alderman. That's what we're here for. You don't have to always have to come to a meeting, but find out who your alderman is, contact your alderman and let them speak for you and speak on your behalf as well.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Thank you.
Mr.
Oh,
Mayor.
I'd just like to be recognized for a moment,
yes. Go right ahead.
being that the omnibus agenda has been passed and the
Oh, yes, go right ahead.
I have
I'll
Mark Moore and Matt Moore here from Studio North. I'd like to introduce them, let them have a few words in front of City Council.
Yes, please.
Gentlemen,
These are the gentlemen that's gonna be working on our rebranding.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just on behalf of Studio North, been in the community for 36 years, right off the
Sorry,
Green
what
Bay
is-
Road.
What is your name?
Mark Moore, MOHR.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're good, Matthew. Okay. That's great. Yeah, I just want to thank you for the opportunity for the rebranding. We have years ago, we made a commitment to be better neighbors in the community. We reached out to mayor and said, how can we've been around for 36 years. We've been a quiet business right off of Green Bay Road there. And we're like, we need to be better neighbors. And so in the conversations, we just wanted to make a commitment to the community. And so we've been very active and volunteering and supporting. We've created a video documentary on behalf of the city. And so having the opportunity to be a part of this rebranding, as we have tremendous pride for the city of North Chicago, we can use our giftedness to help the people and the community of North Chicago as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, and totally agree. One of those silent businesses, how many times have people drove down Green Bay Road and seen Studio North and going, is that a movie thing, or is that, what is that business there?
Yeah.
But again, they reached out to the city and said, hey, we want to be a part of, the community. And, boy, when they said that, they stepped up. So, and they have had award-winning awards for the work that they've done through their Studio North. And so we welcome you and thank you for moving to do the rebranding for our community.
Yeah.
Thank you
We're
so
looking
much.
forward to it. Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do Dan still work there?
Dan.
Right motorcycle.
Yep.
Dan who?
I don't know his last name.
Roberts or,
No, it's Dan Gutnick.
oh, Dan Gutnick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
He's been, over 20% of our staff has been with the business over 30 years.
Wow.
So we have a lot of longevity. So certainly we'll say, hey. And I want to just also say thank you to Ombre and Greg as well as Mayor. They've been awesome shepherds of this initiative and just actually tremendous advocates for the community and for yourselves and with this initiative. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Look forward to working with you.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I just wanted to make you aware, we received some recent publicity from the Chicago Tribune on the gaming moratorium. So this evening, the council passed it on the omnibus agenda, so staff will be working towards right-sizing the amount of terminals we have in the city. But feedback that we've gotten in general has been very positive, that we're taking a step back and taking a look at this. So I just wanted to share that with the council.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay. All right, moving on, regular agenda, 7-1, consideration and approval of Zero Fairway, Green Bay Road, corrected time extension.
Mayor Rockingham,
Alderman Allen,
make a motion that we approve 7-1 as presented.
been moved by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman January, that 7-1 be passed as presented. Are there questions?
Mayor Rockingham, which property is this? This,
Taylor?
Did I hear that question right? Which property?
Yes.
So there's two properties. One is, if you were to take Argonne West, go to Natoma, head north. So it's Zero Fairway is the address, but it's actually on Natoma.
Who owns this property?
Norman Cole. He was, before council and committee, a couple months ago. This item here is a, correction to the time extension that was authorized. When we discussed it at the committee meeting, it was discussed for an 18-month extension. When the ordinance was drafted, the actual language that was in it was an 18-month from the original expiration. So it would only give them like 2 months. But the intent in the discussions was all to be 18 months
Okay.
from that discussion.
All
So
right.
that's the correct.
All right.
The other address, 0 Green Bay Road, northwest corner of Green Bay Road and Argonne.
And I got it right.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
To the brain.
Yep.
Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Coleman. Alderman Evans.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman January. Alderman Jackson.
Yeah, whatever. Aye. Kind of see.
Motion carried. 7-2, consideration and approval of Lolita Conseco to the North Chicago Police Citizens Advisory Board.
Mayor Rockingham,
Alderman Evans,
I would like to approve Loyola Conseco to North Chicago Police Citizen Advisory Board as presented.
Second.
been moved by Alderman Evans, second by Alderman Allen, that 7-2 be passed as presented. Would you like to at least stand?
That's right. So you see who you is.
That's who's gonna be appointed to the North Chicago Police Citizens Advisory Board. Any questions?
Oh, she's third ward also.
Oh,
All
all right.
She's third ward.
All right, hearing no any other questions, roll call.
Alderman Evans.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman January. Alderman Jackson.
Aye.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye. Motion carried. Welcome aboard and congratulations. Thank you. Mhm. All right, 7-3, city bills,
Mayor Rockingham,
Alderman Allen.
I make a motion that we pay the city bills for $3,285,582.45 when come available, funds come available.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman Evans, that the city bills be paid as presented. Are there questions? Alderman January.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Alderman. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
A little tired, but I'm good.
Wonder why?
It's been a long day, right?
Yeah.
Long weekend.
Long weekend.
Training
expense worksheet, 1 copy.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Save.
All right.
Fine.
So my question, I have 2 questions, as you know.
Mhm.
Are there sufficient funds to cover this bill run, and when will the checks be cut and signed?
There are sufficient funds in the account to cover the bill run. The checks will be cut tomorrow and then mailed out on Wednesday.
Okay, and then the end of business day, I believe, Friday,
No, Thursday.
Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Thursday for the water fund. What are we
Water
looking at?
fund is $7,685,883.72.
And that's all liquid?
That's all liquid, and I apologize. I didn't know Vance wasn't here. I don't have the non-liquid.
That's okay.
I'm on the online.
He's fine.
Oh, okay.
The non-liquid is $1,438,983.17.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman January.
No.
Alderman Jackson.
Aye.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Evans.
Aye.
Motion carried. Miscellaneous business. Anyone for miscellaneous business?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Jackson.
one thing I wanna, a couple things real quickly. Number one, I would hope that in the future, if there's a possibility that the alderman can get, information or notification when people are having garage sales, because that seems to be a problem, unfortunately, in Ward 1, where I have individuals that seem to be having garage sales every other week, and I believe in the ordinance, there is a set time, and/or you're supposed to put in an application, if I'm correct. And so I'm hoping that we can get with the future code enforcement person, that we can get a handle on that, because I've been getting a few calls about that. There's a couple of houses in particular on Jackson Street that just seem to want to have it any time they want, even being a letter with the application being sent to them a year ago about the same problem that it still exists. So that's one thing, if we can get some stepped up enforcement on that. The other thing is, I want to thank the organizers for the community days, because it was a great event. I enjoyed it. It was a little hot like everybody, but everything went really well. I did have some constituents calling that did attend, and they were very appreciative of those who put some things together, and that worked out really well. So if it's Ombre or and the committee, thank you for doing that. It was a great time had by all. And the third thing I have is and this with the Citizens Police Advisory Committee, Mayor, and that's something I would like to see if there's any funding for that organization, that we might be able to buy some swag to give away at the next year's event, because they really didn't have anything other than flyers. And if they're representing the city, I feel that we should be able to provide something for them to give away to our residents and guests that are attending the event. So if that's something that however we need to find or put it in the budget for next year, I'd like to see that being done if possible.
Excellent idea.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman January.
First, as the chair for licensing and the building committee, just wanted to let Alderman Jackson know there is a permit for garage sales that's in our ordinance. And if we can also maybe get that put out in our flyer and on our website, could really do that every year, right around spring, when people start up doing these garage sales and yard sales. So there is a permit that has to be obtained.
Yes.
So,
I'm aware of it. I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
People.
yeah.
That's the problem.
And
I mailed it
yeah,
out.
I think it's three
per year.
per year. And again, those is why we need the code enforcers on
Yes.
the weekend.
Because they're taking advantage of the
Yes.
city.
Yeah, so, and then, my second thing is, I really want to give a shout out to our, police department. They have really stepped up and helped in Ward 7. As you know, there has been an uptick in criminal activity in my ward. So, we have, put together a neighborhood watch, and we just got started. And I am so excited because we had a little bit of a turnout, which was wonderful to see that there were some people concerned about what's going on within our military housing communities. So just want to give kudos out to our chief and our assistant chief and Fred Diaz, Lieutenant Fred Diaz, for assisting us with this. And of course, the Hunt Group's management group has been very responsive to this as well. So very excited about what we're doing within the community there. So thank you again for the additional help.
Thank you. Alderman Allen?
Mayor, I also want to feedback that, Community Days, it was great, great time in the great city of North Chicago.
Thank you.
That's, I tell everybody, it was a great, it was just so fantastic, great.
Good.
So, and also, I just want to let everyone know, the mayor's granddaughter, she sung that national anthem. Oh, my God, Mayor,
Thank
great
you.
job. I'm
Thank
telling you, she did. You all be proud of that one.
I am quite
Yeah.
proud.
And
proud.
one more thing, I'd like you to have the chief come up, police come up and talk about this national night out for tomorrow.
Okay, Chief?
I appreciate it if you do that, because that
Yeah.
way,
Mhm.
I want anybody saying they didn't know. We know, but I'm just saying, but thanks, chief.
Tomorrow, starting at 3 p.m., we're kicking off our National Night Out. We're gonna have it in 4 different locations throughout the city. It seems like when we move it around the city, we get the biggest engagement. And then we have some other plans for the summertime to take an ice cream truck around probably our apartment complexes where the largest concentration of kids are. So if you're free tomorrow between 3 and 8 p.m., the locations are all online. Please come and join us. There'll be hot dogs, chips, and water, and some fun for the kids.
Quick question.
Thank you.
Chief, just curious, how is it being marketed? How are the citizens knowing about this?
We're using social media for it. It's in Facebook, it's on or not Snapchat, but on Instagram as well as TikTok
We
and the city website.
should have did a robocall also.
City did a roll call also. I was
No,
not.
If we
need to.
can.
Yeah, we should do a robocall. Maybe even if it is tomorrow, we should at least do a robocall.
Yeah, it's been advertised heavily on social
That's a good
media.
idea, Mayor. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We'll get together with John and do that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, chief.
Yeah.
Alderman?
Another thing, it was great that the city had decided to get with the District 187 and the Park District for this year's Community Day. And it was such a success. But one thing about the Community Day that I didn't like, I was in the Community Day, had my truck decorated, and I didn't win.
Oh, wait.
The people that won,
Hey.
the people that won, they did deserve it.
All right.
I deserve to be in the runner-up.
There was
I felt so.
There was a few trucks in there that could have been.
I should have been, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna decorate my truck again and just ride around. So you can see it. Look, it's gonna be there.
Okay.
But we did really had a great time.
We did.
I tell you,
We did.
It was really a lot of fun and it was exciting. And it's a great spirit to have in our city.
Right.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Alderman Smith?
You win.
I just want to give a shout out to Ombre and his team.
Sorry about that.
We had an awesome community day. I like how we collaborated with other organizations. The city looked good. I like how we put together the planning for the kids to stay with the wristband. I thought that was good. We had no incidents and I just thought that was good. Our entertainment was good. God bless us with great weather and as I say, everything next level. And I think our community day this year was a very next level event. Let's take everything to the next level. Councilman, City of North Chicago. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, audience. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Coleman.
this is more on a serious note. I have a question for the attorney. I prefer to ask him on the floor, and then that way we don't have to pay him to ask him personally, and he addresses everybody. Mr. Attorney, a few weeks ago, I brought to the council floor about the bidding process. And I asked if there was a way that we could, do we have to go with the lowest bidder? And I don't have that video on file, but if necessary, I'll play it. At that time, do you recall what you said when I asked you if we had to go with the lowest bidder?
Alderman, I don't think I was at that meeting.
Okay.
But by
Not-
law,
Not that meeting, let me recall. The meeting before, Megan was at the last meeting. the meeting before, I've got you on Zoom. And I listened to it like 10 times already, so I know it was you. You were speaking about you said almost verbatim, you have to look at it on a case-by-case basis. And you could put certain things inside of the RFQ, I believe was the terminology that you used. So that if someone specializes in something, or we as aldermen felt that we wanted experience in certain areas, it would have to be handled on a case-by-case basis. And that was 2 weeks ago. I mean, not 4 weeks ago. The last meeting Megan was at. So I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just want to remind you that it wasn't last meeting, it was the meeting before that I asked you, do we have to go with the lowest bidder?
Adam Simon was at that first meeting in July, so I was not there. So the exact thing that Adam may have been explaining to you was obviously part of the overall question that you were asking. So I, typically, here's what I was gonna say. Typically, you do need to award bids to the low responsible bidder. Now, this is in the context usually of public works contracts, but you can waive competitive bidding by a 2/3 vote of city council. On certain design contracts, because, and this may be, and I'm just explaining the law as it is. It may or may not be relevant to the questions that you were asking, Adam. On certain design contracts, certain specialized contracts, you don't have to waive competitive bidding if, for instance, the design professional or the consultant that you're hiring has a specialized knowledge of the city, has worked with the city before, or is just, the group that is best positioned to assist the city with whatever is the subject of the contract.
Okay, so do we have to go with the lowest bidder? I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked
No,
them.
not necessarily.
All right. Now, I don't know if you remember Alderman Allen and Mr. Jackson. You heard him say we don't have to go with the lowest bidder. You guys were talking right there, and I told you to remember that Megan said we have to go with the lowest bidder, right? And that's what Megan said. And Adam said something different. And this attorney said something different. But everybody heard Megan say, we have to go with the lowest bidder. And because of that, as aldermen, we took the advice of Megan and we waived the bidding process for the Studio North rebranding campaign based off of the legal advice that Megan said, because we really wanted Mr. North to have this contract. Because he was from the city. And I voted for him and we really wanted him to have it. But Megan said that we had to go with the lowest bidder. So we decided to make sure that Mr. North got the contract and we put it in the omnibus. I say all that to say this. We need consistency from our attorneys, period. All the aldermen up here know that I'm telling the truth. We have 3 different attorneys saying 3 different things, and we're making decisions based off of attorneys that are not communicating and getting on one page. So I'm not here to discuss problems. I'm here to give solutions. There is a solution. And that solution is for us to have one attorney from that law firm that's consistent. And if they're not able to be here, then we need to delay our legal questions until the next council meeting. And we've all discussed this as aldermen. We can't make good decisions without good legal, sound, consistent advice, period. You guys heard it. I got it on video. Our attorney just said something different from Megan. I don't know what else you guys want from me. Another solution would be for legislation to have their own attorney. Now, I understand there's some legal issues in that, but we as attorneys, we as aldermen, We need to be able to ask legal questions and get real answers. And sometimes we need a second opinion. And with that second opinion, we might need our own attorney for our legislative. I understand all the aldermen that might not agree with that second attorney, but we at least need one that's consistent. Because I voted, I would have never voted to waive another bid because everyone up here heard me. I'm not waiving no more bids. And the only reason why I waived this bid was because I wanted Mr. North to get this contract because he was from the city of North Chicago and I felt he can get the job done. So I waived it. All right. I don't know why the other council members waived it. I'm assuming it's the same thing. We wanted Mr. North to get this contract. And Megan said, because we can't waive and go with the lowest bidder, even though he's from the city of North Chicago, I decided to waive it. So with that, I'll recuse my 2-3 minutes. I'm done. We don't have to go into conversation. I've already proved my point. So we can move on to the next agenda item. Thank you.
But Alderman, I don't think you're quite correct on that because I think as we've heard, I think they're all have been pretty consistent in what they've said. Yes, we should go with the lowest bidder, but we are able to waive if we get a consensus and a 2/3 vote to go with without having to go through that. But I think that was pretty consistent with all the attorneys that have got up here and spoke on that. So Alderman, I'm gonna have to say that you're not quite correct on saying that we have to go with the lowest bidder. And I don't think any of the attorneys have said that, so.
Mr. Mayor, when she said it, I reminded Mr. Allen and Mr. Jackson talking here. I say, do not forget that Megan said we must go with the lowest bidder. And I think I even reminded a couple of the other aldermen because I knew it wasn't consistent and I got it on video. So there's no use in arguing or discussing it. If you don't think she said we have to go, it's our job legally to go with, that's what she actually said. Legally, we have to go with the lowest bidder. I have it on Zoom. These calls are recorded. She said legally, we have to go with the lowest bidder. Now, as politicians that we are, we like to flip things around, but that's not what happened. What happened, I was here, she said legally, we have to be, okay, so you didn't hear her say legally we have to go with the lowest responsible bidder by law?
We can always waive competitive bidding if we have a 2/3 vote.
Of course, I know we can waive competitive bidding. As alderman, we can do whatever we want. But what I'm saying is, she said.
You always have a right to say no. So, I mean, if that was the way you felt that we shouldn't have went that way, your vote is one person's vote here at the city council, and you could have always said no.
Absolutely. I could have said no. And I will repeat myself. I'm basing my decisions based off of the attorney. I'm going to say yes if the attorney says legally we have to go with the lowest voter. I have to say yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we all are making decisions based on attorney's advice. So if the attorney advice has changed, then maybe my decision will change. That's what I'm saying. Now, everybody up here heard Megan say we legally have to go with the lowest bidder. So why would I sit up here and say anything different than waive the bid?
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, we got you.
You got me?
Got you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else, public comments or miscellaneous business? My turn. Community days.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is a collaborative effort from Falls Park District, Carmesia. Appreciate all you guys did for community days and your staff and all that, all the elected officials. Vance, Wyatt, treasurer, thank you from Falls Park. We appreciate all your help each and every time we put on community days. District 187, they stepped up because they're part of community days and making this happen. From Friday, movie in the park, Godzilla versus X or Z or W or one of them. King Kong. 27, yeah. It was good. And people came out. And that's what I want to say also, that this year's Community Day, I think we've seen even more people coming out to be a part of it. Because, you know, from our police department, making sure that people felt safe when they came out to be a part of Community Days, both the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, I can't thank staff enough. Darby, who helped to coordinate this event. If he had hair, he doesn't have hair anymore. And if it's there, it's great. But you know, he put in a lot of effort. You know, those last 2 weeks, he was running around, like they say, a chicken with his head cut off. Every time I was around him, the phone was ringing something about Community Days, but he stepped up. Our staff, Tawanda, Shilitha, Angela, Public Works. I mean, you just name them. They were all there being a part, but it was a joint effort from all of our elected bodies. Again, the parade was fantastic. Everybody that took part in it, it was, you know, I hope everyone had a great time. I know I did. We had, you know, activities all day, Saturday. It was just, the park was just full. You know, I know that the different entertainment that came on that night was fantastic. You know, we had Sandy Red that came on at the last. She was our headliner. Sandy Red, she was on The Voice. She was #2 on The Voice. She came out and rocked the house.
She did.
It was fantastic. And me and Alderman Allen were standing there as she was hitting her last song, and Aubrey is going, "Oh, I think the fireworks are going to start. I think the fireworks are going to." And all of a sudden, she's hitting her last note, and all of a sudden, the fireworks come up. If that wasn't the best thing I've seen in some time, it was just, you know, even if you go on YouTube or go to our city website, you can see it. Even she was surprised.
Yes, she was.
Of what we did. She even came out and said, "This is the first time I ever had fireworks on my show." But it was fun. We just had a great time. And Sunday's events was even, you know, our gospel side of it. It was just a nice event. We all had the safety. I was blessed. We were blessed for a beautiful time, the weather, but we were also blessed that it was safe. None of the residents, you know, it was a safe event. And, you know, with all the different other communities out there that may be canceling a lot of these because of safety, we try to step up to make sure that, you know, it is safe. We put gates up. You do have to be wanded before you come into our Community Days, just to be safe. Saturday, we've always passed it out. If you're 18 and under without an adult, you've got to leave, just because we want to make sure that people enjoy themselves during that evening concert. So look forward to next year. We gave away bikes. Yes. Well, it was probably about 7 or 8 bikes we gave away. Kids just had a great time. So again, thank you. And we look forward to Community Days 2025. So
Mayor.
got it.
My feelings are kind of hurt a little bit
Oh, I'm sorry.
because you forgot something very, very important that you did not say. We won.
Yeah, we
Between-
did.
yeah,
Crazy
Tony
Howard.
Ray, not Ray.
Crazy Howard McGee. Yes, Battle of the Bands. He had Isley's. City of North Chicago had Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right.
And we battled the bands on Saturday. And we had QR codes. You can go in and vote for who you wanted. And North Chicago, for the first time, and probably Crazy Howard McGee V103's history, they lost.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll say this, Alderman Coleman, and even though we did win, I'm still gonna send pizza to them just because.
Make sure you had that receipt.
So, do we have executive session? We do have executive session, so, I'd like to do it at this time, entertain a motion to go into executive session. I don't have the update of what it is. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, okay, I can read it out.
Oh, there it is. Okay, we got executive session 5 ILCS 122 C11 litigation. When an action against affecting or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before the Court of Administrative Tribunal. And 5 ILCS 120 122 C12 establishment of reserves of settlement of claims. Alderman Allen, you made the motion?
Yeah, I make the motion.
And Alderman Smith second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are going into executive session.
Alderman Murphy, could you please disconnect so we can call you in the?
Will do.
Thank you.
Reopen. Like to reopen city council?
So move.
Move by Alderman Allen.
Second.
Second by Alderman Evans.
Yep.
The city council, reopen. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Entertain a motion to adjourn. So, was a motion a second? January. Motion by January, second by who?
Me.
Alderman Coleman. That city council stand adjourned. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
1 second.
Oh, okay. All right.
You ready? All right, at this time, I'd like to call the Judiciary Committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Jackson.
Present.
Present.
Alderman Evans.
Here.
Alderman Allen.
Here.
Alderman Smith. Alderman Murphy.
Present.
January.
Present.
Okay, at this time, we have 3 items to discuss tonight. Item number 1, discussion review of an ordinance amending Title 11, Chapter 5, Section 9, 10, and 11, striking the requirement for a designated service provider for fire alarm services. Item number 2, discussion review of ordinance authorizing renewal of aggregation program for electrical load. And item 3, discussion and review of proposed city code amendment, adoption of updated building codes. I believe our Chief of Staff and Fire Department will handle this. And so item number 1.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, we're asking authorization to have the city attorney move forward with amending language to the sections cited in the agenda, amending Title 11, Chapter 5, Sections 9, 10, and 11, striking the requirement for a designated service provider for monitoring fire alarm services. Currently, the city council engaged the firm FSS Technologies 5 years ago for a 5-year contract that automatically renews for another 5. If we don't give them notice that we're canceling the contract. I've taken the liberty of giving that firm notice you have to do it within 4 months. We did it right there at 4 months and gave them notice that we would be canceling, but we could always re-engage if we choose to. The issue with what we found with this firm is that when we went out to inspect some areas, we found equipment failures and for fire systems, I'm monitoring fire systems, that it's kind of difficult for the city to be in a position when we say, use this company and this company can't deliver the service. The other side of that is with a designated service provider. They're the sole provider. They have a monopoly on that business for that 5-year period, which is granted by the city. We are responsible for enforcement if somebody does not sign up for service. We have discussed, the chief and I have discussed that there are a number of qualified firms out there that can do the same work and meet the same requirements. Also, we think, and I had discussion with the mayor and a couple of aldermen on this, but we think that the ability to let the marketplace determine how much somebody should be spending for that service that they need as a business, that should fall on the business owner. If the business owner can find a service that meets our requirements and finds it at a lesser amount, we're of the opinion that all things being equal and the protection being what we require, allow that business to find the best deal for that service, and we shouldn't stand in the way of them. So all we're asking for at this point, Mr. Chairman, members of the city council, is to allow us to work collaboratively with our city attorney to amend the language and have the city attorney offer any insight they may feel is appropriate as we move this forward.
Okay, is there any question from any council? No, hearing none. Okay, item number 2. That's the discussion review of an ordinance authorizing renewal of aggregation program for electrical load. And I believe Chief of Staff, you're handling that one also.
Mr. Chairman, members of the city council, we have a representative from NIMAC here today who's going to at least give us a snapshot. And I think you're going to be pretty pleased. The city of North Chicago engaged in, I think, at 2021 for aggregation of electric. There were some significant savings to our residents who jumped in on that. And then I'm going to let NIMAC explain and where our situation is now before we renew.
Hello, my name's Adam. You guys you recognize the name NIMAC. My father's probably been the one here presenting before, and he's kind of retiring and spending more time golfing and vacationing than working these days. We help with your power and we help find a rate lower than ComEd. That's kind of the main thing we do, but we also help with municipal aggregation. That is where residents who have not done another, if you have another supplier, if you have solar, or if you're on the ComEd hourly program, you're not included in it, but everyone else could be included in the program. Your last program, I can't say this factually, but I think it has to be one of the most successful ones in the state of Illinois. I think residents, a rough estimate in the past 3 years that participated in the program, saved around $400 to $500, probably $600 on the ComEd rate comparatively. Currently, you guys have a rate of 5.8 cents, and the current ComEd rate is 6.9. Last year, the ComEd rate, when prices spiked a little bit, was about 10 cents. So your residents were paying 5.8 cents when the ComEd rate was 10 cents. I mean, it was outstanding program. Unfortunately, we need to renew, and so we went to the market. Our number one goal, and we're here to ask kind of what do you guys suggest for renewal options, and we'll present 3 options to you. Our number one goal is always to save residents money. With the fixed rate program, which is what you currently have with the rate of 5.8 cents, the lowest rate that a supplier could find, which was renewed today, was at 7.49 cents. The ComEd rate currently is 6.9 cents, but the ComEd rate moves up and down. So when I talked with staff and I talked with Greg, they were like, well, it does provide a fixed rate, but the ComEd rate is 6.9 and the MC square rate is 7.4. Residents could opt in and opt out, just to be clear. No one, everyone has a choice. There's no penalty in opting in or opt out at any point. But to be clear, that program with a fixed rate would provide budget certainty, but there is a chance that it would cost more for residents. We can't predict what the ComEd rate is going to do over the next year. The second program, which is our more popular one, provides that residents will pay the exact same as the ComEd rate as it changes from month to month. There is no benefit, unfortunately, but there are no savings or no harm to the residents. The residents have no change as if they went to ComEd. And with that, the benefit of the program is the supplier would write a check for $20,000 to the city to be used however you want. Sounds like you guys need a code enforcer on the weekends. I mean, you could put $20,000, who knows? They don't, you have the right to do with that whatever you want. To be clear, we always want to save residents money, but it just doesn't seem like there is a guarantee. So your three options are move forward with the fixed rate program at about 7.49 cents. Move forward with the price match program that matches the price, and then the city receives a $20,000. Or you could suspend the program and we could look for renewal options. Suspending the program creates a little bit of difficulty and confusion because residents go back and forth. And if you want to join again in 6 months, it's just more letters that have to get sent out and more, we think, confusion, but we can handle all three of those fairly easily, we believe. So we're coming to the staff or the board today looking for guidance.
Question, Mayor?
Look into your crystal ball.
Yeah.
What do you see rates going as far as for comment?
I think rates will go up a touch. To get to that 7.49 cents to save money, I don't think so. I think it provides safety, but I want to be very clear. I get very nervous because what would have to happen is letters would go out and say the MC squared rate is 7.5 cents. That's what we're renewing. And the ComEd rate's going to be 6.9 for that month. We don't know what it'll be that month, but let's say it'll be, and that creates people being like, well, what are you doing getting us into a program? And that creates confusion, and rightfully so. And we could explain the benefits, and we can work with Hombre to work with the benefits of, here's what a fixed rate does. So I think the safe option is to do the price match program. That is the safe option. But some people like having, providing a third option or, a second option compared.
And which is the MC square was the lowest?
Yeah, for both of these.
So Dynegy and all the others?
Dynegy, they're 7.6 and,
wow.
yeah, so we went to 4 different suppliers and all of them are above 7.49 cents.
Yeah, usually we get that one that's a low one.
Correct,
Wow.
correct. And I just want to remind you, you guys won't get credit for it, but your last deal that you guys decided on was brilliant. I cannot tell you how other towns have been doing this price match program for 2 or 3 years already, and you guys have been saving your residents money. And so, yeah, the market has kind of corrected. And so, but I just,
Yeah, I know. We slipped in right at that.
you guys were perfect timing. So
I would say just price rated so that we would be running with ComEd as whatever their rate is. But at some point, if it does correct again and drop, and we come back again, then that we can go right into cost savings again to the residents.
yeah, so in a year, and what I would recommend is because you guys have a good low profile, that's what they call it. In a year from now, we can look at it and hopefully find fixed rate. I would not do anything longer than a year.
Right.
Yeah, I think we come back and really hope that next year we can find savings. But the price match keeps the program going and provides $20,000.
Right.
And as a reminder, residents have the ability to opt in or out.
What's up, Council?
Any other questions?
Let's keep what we got.
Any other questions?
Is there something
We'd have,
have?
yeah, we would have to put together some language on what we're doing next. I'll work with the city attorney and our representative from NIMEC on that.
That's usually the one that, we usually vote on it, that whenever that deal is closed and I can sign off on it
Right.
at that time, but we don't have to do it at this, with that then.
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, the third item up for
Do you have a
tonight.
card? You?
I've
No,
left
no.
my.
I'll get it. I know where.
Drive.
I'll find you.
Your dad always have his cards with him.
Speak to Dad. Have a good one.
That's how you make a.
Way to go, Alderman. Okay, the third item is discussion review of proposed city ordinance or city code amendment, adoption of updated building codes. Director, you're up and running. Okay.
All right, thank you, Chairman Jackson and the rest of council. This evening for discussion is a proposed amendment to the city code. Specifically, it deals with Title 12 And more generally, it refers to an updating of the city's building codes. That's the building code, residential code, accessibility code, energy code, all these codes that the city's adopted in the past. Currently, we are on the 2006 edition of these codes. In general, there's a few exceptions to that rule, like the National Electric Code, which is 2005. But we're proposing to bring these up to the, basically the current standard, which is 2021 editions of these codes. The International Code Council, ICC, is kind of the gold standard. It is the organization which creates these codes for adoption by communities throughout the nation. They are pretty much the universal types of codes that municipalities adopt or other jurisdictions such as counties. There's other types of codes, and you can create your own code. But this is already a template ready packaged for adoption, essentially. You can make amendments to those codes, and we've done so in the past. And before you guys tonight is for discussion is this update from the 2006 edition to the 2021 edition of these codes. There's multiple reasons for this. Most notably is a increase in the safety of the building structures throughout the city and properties. So this is also the property maintenance code would be updated as well. This is the fire code as well. So with that, with the adoption of a more recent code means more modern materials are considered, more modern building styles are considered, more flexible designs that are up to modern standards can be considered. And these can result in a number of different ways for improved safety for our residents and visitors. Like one of those might even be improvement to our ISO score. That's the insurance rating for the city, as well as lowering insurance rates for individual property owners because of the improved safety features within the building structures, and increased value for the properties due to the capital investment in these higher codes. So the codes that are the editions from the ICC are put out every 3 years. They publish a new edition. So there's currently a 2024. All the peer communities that we've consulted with and professionals in the field consider that one a little too recent for us to consider right at this moment. They would like to see that kind of play itself out, see if there's any changes that need to be kind of flushed out through those. So we're going to propose the 2021 code. Again, we're on the 2026, so that means we're bypassing the 2029, 2012, 2015, 2018, and going up to 2021. Now, I know a lot of you are probably asking, well, where does that lie with the rest of our peer communities? Most all of Lake County has adopted a much more recent code than we currently have. If you go through the list of communities in Lake County, Mundelein 2028, Wakanda 2028, Waukegan 2021, Lake Forest 2021. The principal change in a lot of these codes, or the most impactful change generally considered, is the requirement for fire sprinklers in residential new construction. And so that's one of the biggest ticket items that's proposed. That was actually part of the code requirements in 2009. So again, we're jumping from 2006 to 2021. So that code requirement has been out there for a long time. And as you look at across Lake County and across the state, it has become the gold standard, not the gold standard, but it has been more than commonplace to have that already as a requirement. Even unincorporated Lake County has that as a requirement. So this brings us in line with our peer communities. So I just want to accentuate that point. There are additional amendments that we've worked with the fire department on to ensure further safety of the structures here in our community. We've considered things such as electric batteries in vehicles as they're being parked in garages. So how do we address that, and how do we ensure that garage structures are secure and safe should there be such an event like that? So that's just part of the things that have come into consideration as we've discussed this item at the staff level. So with that, I would turn it over to any questions.
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Coleman.
I would just like to hear from the chief, since the fire code's in there. Chief? Is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the code, for the new changes?
That's a thumbs up. It makes community safer for everybody involved, including the firemen as well.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else? Mayor?
I just want to say, I know that staff came to me on several occasions asking about to redo the codes. I know that and council, you're gonna hear it, you know, I'm just making you aware. You're gonna hear it. But, you know, and it's gonna raise some of the prices of the houses to put in a sprinkler system into the house. But every time one of those gentlemen have to go into a house in regards to a fire, I mean, I think it's gonna be a safer, you know, experience. And that's why other communities, I think, around are moving towards that, to put sprinklers in. I mean, we started with just putting sprinklers in, you know, over hot water heaters in the furnace. But, you know, fires don't just start over hot water heaters and furnaces. It could start anywhere, in a kitchen or electrical. And just to be able to make sure it's safe. So I mean, me and Chief Umack, he kept approaching me and said, Mayor, what do you think? I have to, you know, agree with him that, you know, if we're gonna do something, we need to make sure that the residents are gonna be safe in our community. And this is the best way, I think, to do it. So I'm in favor of it also.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Yeah, just, so you saying,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Alan.
so in the new codes now, you're saying if we adopt this here, then in the new home built, they're going to put in a sprinkler system. If it's ranch house or either whatever way it is, it's got to be.
That's correct.
And what about someone selling a home now in the future? They had to bring it up, put in sprinklers?
If they're selling a home?
Yes.
Just the transaction would not initiate the requirement to install a sprinkler system. There's some more minutia to it as far as the type of structure, how it was originally constructed, where the, you know, how many stories, those kinds of things, how extensive is remodeling, things like that come into play as far as retroactive installation.
Is the code still in for the sprinkler over the furnace and the hot water tank?
So now the building structure would also have that requirement, but yes, so it's
If you
it's
sell your
one and
home-
above that.
If you sell your home, you gotta have a sprinkler head over your furnace. I'm just asking.
Yes. Okay, look at the chief for confirmation, but yes, that is part of the requirement.
Okay. Thank you.
And I will say, just another note is, it's not all, increased in requirements, I suppose. There is greater flexibility because we're jumping from a 2006 code to a 2021.
Right.
There's quite a bit of modernization throughout the entire codes, allowing different materials, allowing greater grace in areas where they retroactively realized that the codes had been too strict. So there is quite a bit of grace in these too.
That's a big jump, yeah.
Let me ask, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start getting into the weeds on this, but with the new codes, are they using plastic for water lines now? Or they still have to use, because they, you know, they got the red and the blue water lines now that people are using. It makes it a lot easier for plumbers to actually install.
Right.
I just don't know. Not sure on that one, I can tell. I can look on your faces.
I know we played with that one quite extensively in the local amendments part of it. I would just have to confirm. Sorry, Mayor.
No, that's quite all right. I just know that I see in some new buildings, that's what they're putting in.
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Coleman.
Good point. We have one of our top builders in our city here today, and it will affect him. And we always want to hear both sides of the coin here before we make a decision. So do you mind, Mr. Chairman, if we allow Mr. Reggie a couple moments to fill us in on how that might affect his business at all? If you have a moment.
The only problem I got with that is if he speaks in general terms, not the word his business. If he just generalize, if you don't mind. I'd be okay with that if the council would, but I don't want to single him out per se like that, in all respect to him.
but because he has the expertise in this area, that's what I would have no problem, relying on him from that point.
And since I'm calling you up here, Reggie, please be on your best behavior. And seriously, we're trying to make a decision and we're going from a big jump from 2006
Yeah.
to 2021. I'm not familiar with the codes. It's really not going to affect me. But if you can speak on behalf of maybe all of the builders, not you specifically, as the alderman said, to try to give us advice on how it will affect the building population of builders that are trying to build in our community. Would you bless us with a couple minutes?
Sitting next to Taylor. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
So to your question, Taylor touched on it. One of the biggest things is the fire extinguishers that have to be installed in the homes. That's a $20,000 minimum cost added in on top of things such as lumber going up and who knows what else, right? So that will make it tough for builders to actually be able to sell a house at a reasonable price and recoup all their investment. So that's the biggest item, is that fire extinguisher, fire sprinkler, sprinklers.
So here would be my question to you. We want everyone to be safe in the community, right? And we know that there are some advantages to having sprinklers above the two fire locations, which is your furnace and your water heater.
Right.
And, but we don't want to outprice homes either and add a $20,000 cost.
That's a lot.
What would your suggestion be other than don't do it? I mean, like, do you have another suggestion? Maybe we can use a different type of piping, or maybe one sprinkler, or is there any suggestions or recommendations that can bring that 20,000 maybe down to 10? Because we do need safety. I mean, you have to admit, we do.
So the way that I've heard most people talking about it is that the smoke detectors, that's the item that should, be really stepped up. It should be wired smoke detectors versus battery operated or wireless. It should be wired smoke detectors. And that's the item that will actually kick in an event of a fire. If you got, a 3-story building, then perhaps maybe you should do some sprinklers then. But if it's a single or even a 1.5 floor house,
So that's tailored. I thought that was a great point, because if it's multi-unit, then we most definitely need fire sprinklers, and because, it can start above 2nd floor, 3rd floor, whatever. But single family homes, extra $20,000 is a lot. So I can't promise I'm gonna vote, that not to do it, Reggie. I'm not gonna say that, but at least we did give you an opportunity to speak. So I appreciate all you do in the community.
all right, thank you.
Good question. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your honesty. Go ahead, Alderman.
It's
on.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Quick question for you. With regards to the pipes throughout the house, they were saying something about plastic. You can't use plastic everywhere, correct?
So to that point, copper was usually the number one thing. There's been I think a statewide law that was passed that we can use PEX, is what it's called, which is the plastic. That's more durable actually than your copper. It's a whole lot cheaper, cuts down on theft, because usually, those that are breaking in are going to steal your copper. So this PEX product, which is plastic.
So it's a special product. It's not just any kind of plastic. It's
No,
specially made.
it's right. It's specially made.
What is
Pretty good product.
What is quite a bit cheaper than copper.
Yes.
Extremely. So
Thank
so
you.
if that is in the ordinance to use PEX, for putting in new houses, then it's a kind of an offset from, cause copper, I mean, is copper, you're not gonna have to necessarily, do you necessarily have to use copper for your, for the
With the sprinklers?
yeah, suppression, yeah, I had it before. Did you have to use copper for that?
No, you
Okay,
don't have to use copper for that. But
okay,
the city code currently right now allows PEX. So that's already been in
okay,
effect.
so
for the last
you're already
3 years. So we've already been using
been
PEX.
using that, okay.
Right.
We're not, you looking to change the PAX part?
No.
Is that correct?
Gonna confirm
Oh,
that.
I want to make sure I hear
I
you.
don't believe it was codified in the city code prior, but PEX is gonna be codified in the.
In the new
proposed
one,
amendment.
right? Okay, then I guess my other question is, so if a homeowner buys a house with a suspension unit in it, a fire, yeah, the insurance rates will go down too, right? Your insurance rates will go down quite a bit. So that homeowner that's buying a house also here in the city of North Chicago with a fire suspension unit in it will get a better insurance rate.
Well, not a whole lot.
Oh,
It's not a
yeah.
big
It won't
difference.
be.
You will go down.
20,000, right?
No.
I'm talking about the homeowner.
The homeowner,
for
right.
North Chicago.
So.
I'm not always on the bill,
Right,
we
yeah.
working for both sides, right? We gotta
So
work-
currently, right now, Waukegan has that code enforced right now. And the fire sprinkler system
Okay,
that's currently in Waukegan and some other local municipalities around the way, right? And so in speaking with those gentlemen, those builders, they are saying that it's tough for them to meet the numbers.
Right.
Now, is it bringing the insurance down? Yes, for the end consumer, the home buyer, yes. But I mean, if they have a $2,000 a year premium, it's not gonna take it from 2,000 to 200. You know, maybe 2,000 or maybe 1,600 or something of that nature.
but it would sure make me sleep better at night knowing I had it. I'm just, that fire, that alarm,
True.
fire alarm,
Mhm.
smoke detector. Yeah, but knowing you got a sprinkler system there too, that's gonna knock that fire down. If
Right.
I gotta get out of my house.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better.
Agree.
Thank you, Mr. Reggie. I'm gonna get you off the hot seat, man.
Yeah, man.
'Cause I know you gotta do business with us later. Thank you, Reggie, for your.
Really
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
it, sir.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
We've got a number, when we did the research, and it's been Taylor and John's, or Chief Humix, driving this issue. The expense was definitely considered what was gonna be passed on to the builders and what was gonna be passed on to the homeowners if they were to buy a house. ISO ratings will change, which will give us a better insurance rating in the city as well. So that's a benefit. The one thing I'll say, and I needed to say this, was, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. They're designed to get people out of the house and get them to safety. Sprinklers, put out fires. So.
Good point. Anyone else?
I just want to
Chief?
say, I just want to say also that we have in an ordinance, we have a hardwired battery backup alarm system required at homes or when a person sells a home to have those installed in that manner. So that is there. And with the sprinkler system, it's the type of material that you use and also the square footage of the home. So I'd like to see some different, I'd like to see numbers on that actually on some of the homes in the area, what it would cost to do that in rooms. Over my time, I've seen all types of fires. A lot of them are from kids, candles. You can't put a price on safety and what you can save. And this could definitely do it. And it's there immediately and it would make a difference. So once again, I fully support it. And I hope you guys do too.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to adjourn
So
the
moved.
Judiciary Committee meeting. It's been moved by Alderman Allen and seconded by Alderman January to adjourn the Judiciary Committee meeting. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Jackson.
Aye.
Alderman Coleman. Alderman Evans.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Smith. Alderman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman January.
Okay, at this time, the Judiciary Committee meeting stands adjourned. Thank you all.
I'd like to open up the Building License Committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Jackson.
Present.
Alderman Coleman. Alderman Evans.
Here.
Alderman Allen.
Here.
Alderman Smith. Alderman Murphy.
Present.
Alderman January.
Present. I have a 5-item agenda. The first one is discussion review of a special event application language, updating, explaining obligations for municipal incurred expenses. 2 is a special event, the annual Fort to Fort race. Next, third one is discussion of special event, Big Brother, Big Sister. And then discussion and review of special event application, Fiestas Patrias, and then pending matters. So let me have Greg come forward for the first portion.
This is a update from a request that Alderman January made, I think 2 meetings ago, that we take a look at the language on our special event applications, especially as it pertains to fees for public goods and services that may be provided during the course of a parade, open air event, or a special event. I provided the council with some initial language. Let me say this from the outset, is that a great deal of legwork had been done on this in advance and hadn't made it to the council yet by the city clerk. So the city clerk had a bunch of documentation, including applications from our sister municipalities to look at, and we're going through all that right now. If you look at the language that I provided to the council, the bulk of that with some minor adjustments came from Clerk Collins. We will be continuing to work on this document, but we wanted to make sure that the council was aware of it, get a first glance at the current city code, how it's read out in the language, and then the applications, without a doubt, as I went through the application and the clerk's information, as well as from other communities, we are absolutely lacking information that I think the council would find important when special events are being requested, parades, open air events, especially things related to insurance and number of people that are estimated to be at an event. It allows us to make some better decisions from a staffing standpoint as well. So the staff will be continuing to move on this, and hopefully Alderman will have something to you, if not in 2 weeks, in 4 weeks, that we can move along to council and move that forward.
So you're speaking to the chapter 5?
Yes.
On our desk here?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah, please. You know, the sooner that we can get this done, the better it'll be. And we'll be more forthcoming as to our expectations of these events.
And we want to just make sure we're thorough and get everything, so,
Clear,
yeah.
Transparent, as best we can. So thank you for the hard work on that. Okay, the first event is an annual event that's been going on for quite a few years. It's called the Fort to Base Race. It's August 25th. They will be doing setup time and date on August 24th from 8 to 3. The event proposed locations afterwards, post-race party, Foss Park is the location. They will be using Roslyn Franklin University for parking. There's a attachment to this that shows the course. It's pretty much same as it has been. I think the only difference is they've added specifically 10 nautical miles, a 3 nautical mile, and a 1 mile fun run. So this is a running type event. And we'll all end in Foss Park in North Chicago. Let's see, there is going to be police needed. They asked for 2, Chief. I see you signed off and you're okay with it. Are they going to cover the cost of the police? Okay. Okay, that's fine, thank you. And then they do have their insurance here, and they've also provided us water station locations along the route. So it's it's a put together event. And, it says here the 13th annual Port to Base, run returns, to Illinois on August 25th for another monumental run through North Chicago's military history. Experience a firsthand view of the historic military encampments of the Philip H. Sheridan Reserve Center and the Naval Station Great Lakes as you take on one of these 3 unique course distances. After you cross the finish line, relax and refuel with family and friends at the picnic style post-race party featuring complimentary beer, 21 years old and higher. Delicious food and music at scenic Foss Park. So thank you for Foss Park for allowing them to use that space. There is a way to get onto a website to sign up for this. And I don't have the website here. Lori, did you get a website?
Email address, but I don't have it.
Okay. From what I can see, it looks like, yeah, Ventures Endurance dot emotive.com/event/register/2024-Fort to Base /. So that's kind of a lengthy website, but again, I think if you just Google Fort to Base race with Great Lakes Naval Station, you'll find it on the internet. Okay. Any questions or concerns about this particular event? Everything looks proper.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I think the event's proper. But the 2 police officers that were waived, I see in the future, not now, but some people might say, hey, you waived it at this event, you didn't waive the officer at this event. But at this parade, you allow 5 officers to be there but you won't give me a free officer. If in that language that the chief is writing, that we have a set boundary, right? Like, we're gonna charge you for an officer, period. And then if you want that waived, then maybe the executive, the mayor can, so it doesn't have to go to council and be a big deal and things of that nature. But then maybe the mayor, the executive of the city, he can sign off on waiving it so that one person doesn't feel that another party got preferential treatment, right? So it would be up to the mayor to say, hey, we have enough police officers, or, you're asking for 10 officers. That's too many, you know what I mean? So maybe 5 officers is okay, and you have to pay for 2. But if we left that in the mayor's authority, then that would give him a little bit more negotiating power position. And not the individual, like the fire department can approve firefighters or the police, and then it's under one office. I don't know how the mayor would feel about that. I don't know if he's busy or if he has time to do that, but
I think it's best to come in front of council myself.
bring it in front of council to get things waived.
Yeah, so
something like that.
you guys would be aware that it's being waived.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we're doing now.
Right,
Yeah.
again, we're waiving because it's military, but I see where your point comes across. Is that we want to make sure everybody is being treated fairly and given that opportunity. So Greg, if there's something you can come up with in the language revolving around this, that would be great. And we'll take a look at it when you are done and prepared and ready. Okay? Okay.
And just to give you a heads up, when we start getting to the Latino parades where we got horses and we need more officers and things of that nature, that's when it'll really be a big issue. Like 1 or 2 officers is fine, but when we start having our major parades, how many officers is too many before we have to actually charge, you know? And the chief's a good chief, so, you know, he's gonna always do in-kind and volunteers help, serve and protect, but if he can get somebody to cover his back and say, no, 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 10 officers, I understand chief willing to work with you, but, you know, we have to take into consideration our police overtime and things of that nature as well. Thank you so much.
Chairman,
Thank you. Yes.
just for clarity, how does it work when we make an in-kind, officers, let's say the officer gets hurt? How does that work? Is it through the city? It's on the city then?
Yeah, because it's a city sanctioned event.
If he's serving in his capacity as a police officer on our time, whether it's in kind or not, it'll fall under our workers' compensation. I don't think that's incorrect, is it? Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. The second one on my list here is Big Brother, Big Sister of Metropolitan Chicago. Date of the events. Look backwards. August, I would say, is it going August 10th to August 17th? For 7 days?
August 17th to August 17th.
Or is there a typo? Okay, so it's August 17th. Okay, all right.
I typo.
Okay, I was like,
Sorry.
wow, 7 days.
What a party.
All right, so now that we got clarification, this event will be held on August 17th. They're gonna be setting up at 9 a.m. And this event is being hosted by the BBBS Rotor chapter of Omega PSI PHI
Mega
Fraternity Back to School Family Fun Day. That's a long event name. Event is going to be hosted on the open lot located on Grant Place, east of Sheridan Road in North Chicago. Okay, there will be animals there. No, I'm sorry, no animals, no carnival. They do not need any police assistance. It's a not-for-profit organization. Looks like everything is here and present. And our chief Perez signed off. So any questions, comments about this particular event? Okay, hearing none, let's move on to the last of the events. This is the North Chicago Fiestas Patrias, September 14th at 10 a.m. They'll be setting up and they plan for this to go from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, it's a parade and they will have horses in the parade. And it will be going the same route as the Community Days route that we used, terminating at City Hall here. And this is being put on by a Fernando Bahina. And again, Chief Perez has signed off. We do have their liability insurance present here. They do ask for police to cover this event, but they don't say how many. Chief, have you worked out a plan with them yet, or?
Usually have about 6 to 7 hours.
Okay. And are they going to be covering the costs for those police officers?
They did last year.
They did last year, okay. All right, so they'll cover the cost of our use of our police, so that'll be good. That'll help with overtime. All right, any questions about this event? I know there was some back and forth stuff with this, but I think we got it all cleared up. Okay, hearing none. Anything under pending matters?
Quick question,
Sure. Mayor?
and I'm sorry, I don't see Falls Park here again, but I hear there's supposed to be a carnival. If coming No, it's from Falls Park.
Oh, yeah, that's a different one. And we did speak about it.
Carnival.
Cause I thanked, Falls Parkford, working on that and having that event.
Okay.
And they had their own, security coverage.
Okay,
Is
but
what I understand from Vance.
is,
We ain't talked about it.
yeah. And that's coming up, cause I mean, just want to at least make council aware that it's there. And I
Yeah.
know that we've got some issues regarding it, so, and it,
We sat down with the Park District on a number of issues, including that we had, the Carnival company had not taken out a temporary business license. We asked for information as pertained to their tax ID for the purpose of sales tax. They had not yet submitted at the time of our conversation, they had not yet submitted a site plan for police or fire. Nor did they notify the Lake County Public Health Department, because food being served. And the state also has responsibility for inspecting the rides. Happy to say that it was an 11th hour type of activity, but we finally got everything we needed. Today, they came in late this afternoon, filled out their application, paid their fees. A site plan was given to us and we just got a copy of the COI on it as well. But it was an 11th hour type of activity. I was directly involved with the executive director as well as Commissioner King and Commissioner Tawanda's sister. I don't think that's her name, but we'll go with that. So, my communication was, we're able to help better and help organize and help strategize with that organization, with the Park District, if we get a better heads up. But fortunately, we were able to pull this off. They're setting up today. Carnival goes the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Okay. I have a question to our city attorney, Silverman. With this being on Falls Park property, do we have to have all this? Are we allowed to have this say in this particular event?
oh, definitely,
Because
yeah, cause.
it's through their entity and their taxing body.
Yes, it is, but you still provide services for these events, so.
Okay,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a little bit of oversight.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, thank you for that clarification. Yes,
But I know you said you talked to Treasurer White, but the city council didn't know anything about it till just the other day.
I thought it was on our last meeting that was brought up.
No,
but-
no, check your records,
Okay,
nothing. So it's gotta be all combined together there. We always say, we wanna do it
well,
right.
it's not on, yes, I understand that, but again, I had emails going back and forth. I don't know what was on what and where and why it wasn't even put on tonight.
Because they're gonna be doing it this weekend,
Right.
next couple of days.
It wasn't even put on the agenda for tonight. Don't know why.
So what I'm saying, I just found out about it just yesterday myself, that's why.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Well, that brings up a question then, Madam Chair, if I may. If this is gonna happen this weekend coming, and we haven't voted to approve it.
Well, we don't have a vote to
then
approve
we don't-
any of
we're
it.
not voting on it then, right? Okay.
No, we just are letting council know that these are the events coming up. This is, and that we have all the proper stuff in place for this event to occur, making sure we know that we've got the staff to help if needed. And who's gonna be covering that staff, salary wise or funding that staff. So, and obviously, Greg stood up and said in the 11th hour here, he got all the information.
Mrs. Chairman,
Yes,
as a previous Falls Park commissioner, we did have our own security, but Chief Jackson, is there any way that we can require, I'm pretty sure our officers will be in attendance anyway, but we want to be available. Our police department wants to be available. There's been incidents. I was a commissioner, right? There's been incidents, and when things go wrong, they call our police department, right? So if they got a party over there and we don't know about it and something go wrong, they're calling us and now we have to deal with it, right? And I was a commissioner, so I know this to be true. Yes, we do have forest rangers and we have, people that are quote unquote security. But, if there's a stabbing or the shooting or something like that, so we have to be aware of these things. And I'm asking that you can include some police in that because we gonna have kids there too.
We, when we sat down and had the discussion, when I sat with Commissioner King and the executive director, the discussion was the necessity to have adequate public safety to meet the needs. They did provide a site plan. I shared it with both the police chief and the fire chief to get their nod on it. Fire chief's gonna walk the facility or the grounds. And they've also engaged house security. So they've engaged a security firm that did supported community days as well. So they being the Park District have already done that engagement. Our police department is well aware of. Yeah, we gave them absolute heads up on it.
I guess what I'm saying is, can we have 2 in-kind police officers there available?
I don't want to speak for the police chief staffing, but I'm happy to turn around and have that conversation with him, Alderman.
Because that's great. This time, it doesn't seem like we were properly aware as aldermen, but I know next time they'll take care of it, right? So, we don't want to stop anything.
And the reason it
at
wasn't
this
on the
point.
agenda for Alderman January's references, the agenda went out on Friday. That's about when we found out.
Right.
So I mean, there was no way to get something on the agenda for discussion. And quite honestly, a special event, I have to verify if a special event application was filled out because they already, in the interest of good intergovernmental relations, we wanted to make sure that the event wasn't compromised, but we also wanted to make sure that we were not exposed and no liability existed. So we may have foregone the formal application process to grab a hold of people's hands and say, okay, we need to sit down and have these discussions on how we move this forward.
But we most definitely.
You bet.
Because Forest Park will quickly say I have in-house staff, and I know the in-house staff, right? So any event I know Forest Park not gonna like me, but any event that they have, they need to let us know so we can get the police available in case, something goes down.
After my discussions last week, Alderman, if you're worried about being on the bad list, I'm one up on you.
Okay.
In the new ordinance, he put 30 days notice also.
Yes.
And 30 days, no, it's okay.
Yeah, so there will be things changing with the ordinance and the application, so, which will be very positive. But I didn't know about this until I saw emails going back and forth about it.
I think we all did.
Yeah, it was like, Friday is when I saw it.
It's about the
So.
time.
Okay, so I wasn't that far behind.
Yeah.
So, all right. But I'm glad that we got everything. Everything's gonna move forward, so, okay. Thank you, everyone. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, hearing none. I would like to adjourn the meeting. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Allen, seconded by Alderman Smith. Roll call, please.
Alderman Jackson.
Aye.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Evans.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman January.
Hi. There we go. My phone, my microphone went kind of haywire. Thank you, everyone. And the Building License Committee meeting is adjourned.
I'd like to open up the committee of the whole. Have a roll call.
Alderman Jackson.
Present.
Alderman Coleman.
Present.
Alderman Evans.
Here.
Alderman Allen.
Here.
Alderman Smith.
Present.
Alderman Murphy.
Present.
January.
Present.
Okay, there's 2 items regarding the designation of an honorary roadway for Debbie Richards and Glenn Johnson. I know this is Alderman Smith's ward, and did have the information on it. So Alderman Smith, did you wanna say anything?
Well, in talking with both of the people who put in their application, both of them are well known in our community, and I look forward to putting signs up and representing them, because they have represented our city very well. And I like that they're still here with us. We're celebrating them and they're still here with us, so
Okay.
I think that's a good thing.
And I agree, but I guess we got a concern. There is a concern in our ordinance. As I pulled up the ordinance, just to verify, I know that we said and I think everybody, at least those that are here, are aware that there's only 3 honorary signs that can go up in a calendar year.
Right.
Throughout the city. But then there's only 1
Per ward.
per ward per year. So we're gonna have to one or the other, and then have to wait till the next calendar year to do the other one. So that's unless, yeah. That's I wasn't, yeah.
Can I ask a question? Ward 7, obviously, I'm not able to put up names of people on streets. Can I give my one for the year?
No.
No, okay.
Why not?
I'm
share money.
asking to see because my ward will never have that. So, but again, it's up to the alderman here. Just putting that out there as
Good.
a charity to this situation.
But.
I accept it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just gotta listen, okay?
all right. When we've fallen short with monies, we can go to other aldermen and get money and to help us to make things happen for our citizens in North Chicago. Here are citizens who have contributed to our city year after year after year. Debbie Richard has a business in our city. Glenn Johnson has choirs of citizens in our city. And I have an alderman here who's willing to share her one person, and I think that would be a great thing. And again, it's about all of us working together.
Mayor.
I yield to my senior alderman on the left here. So.
Well, first of all, you have to see who all agrees with those people that you want that street sign for.
Right.
Just because you worked in the city does not mean that you deserve a street sign. I mean, I could give a street sign to anybody that worked in the city for 20, 30 years. We just brought in Dave Newsom. He was here working for the barber shop. We brought in Carol over there at Frank's. There's other people that's in the city that have worked and for their occupation. So what did Debbie Richardson or Glenn Johnson do that was so special to get a street sign?
It's all in the application.
No, I'm asking you put it out there.
I was just saying, she has a business here for several years. She has a business here in North Chicago.
Where?
On Lewis Avenue.
But what do you call several years?
I don't know how long she's been in, but it's been over 10 years.
No, and I'm asking you the question because you made the request.
Yes.
So that's all I'm doing. I'm asking you the question because you made the request. If Debbie Richardson, what did she do for our city? What, I'm asking this man the question, this man put it out there.
All right.
Answer the question.
Okay.
And I shouldn't have that. I mean, if I put a street sign out for somebody.
I can read it to you, but it is in the application.
No, I mean, if you're gonna put that out there like that,
Yes.
you have to know why you putting it out there. Not just because somebody decided this is gonna be my career and I'm gonna do a career in this city. And I wanna make a name from selling real estate in this city. Now I need a street sign. No, that's not doing anything in the community. That's doing something for yourself. And the other person, I don't even know who that is.
Okay,
But I'm just saying, I am aware of the real estate. Yeah. And I'm just
Okay.
saying, what did she do?
all right, I can read it to you if you want me to. You're gonna take it, I can read it to you.
You should know. Okay, did she distribute food to people?
Her
Distribute
dad,
food to the
matter of fact, her dad did, he had a truck
Oh,
in service.
Wait a minute now. I know about the dad.
Okay.
But that ain't who you asking the street side for. You talking about her. What did she do?
All right. What's your point you're trying to get at?
What did she do? What?
Okay.
Did I not say this?
All right.
What did she do?
A woman with one of our Christian group counseling. She done plays in our community, a play that I was even in myself. Her daughter was a singer. She created community groups where her daughters have sang and done things for people in the community. She has a real estate business here in the community. She lives in the community. There's several things on the list. You can just read it.
Educational internship program for 6 years. Come on, guys, it's not funny.
You doggone right it ain't funny. Because you guys sitting up there reading a piece of paper and you guys can't even say what she did. You reading on a piece of paper. I know exactly what she did, so you tell me, what has she done? You guys want a street sign? Oh, do you want the street sign? You don't want it? Oh, well, Kenny, maybe you should find out who I want it. No, you are something else. You gonna question something. Don't question me unless you know what you're talking about.
I do know.
Okay.
She your relative.
All right. As chair, I'm bringing it back. All right. Thank you, Alderman.
Yeah.
Alderman
One thing
Allen, did you have
I just
anything?
wanted to say that we gotta make, and I have no problem with that. We gotta make sure we start giving these street signs out that it means something to us and to the city. I know Deborah, she did a lot in the community. I understand all that. But this other young man, I know who he is, but I got this one teacher up there. We ain't got Amos Jones a sign out there. He coached football and won championships and did that. So Dave News was here 63 years, Barbara in the city of North Chicago. I'm just saying, we gotta start focusing on what we can do for our city here, and not about naming all these street signs up here, because we just joke around with all this stuff all the time. So that's all I gotta say.
Alderman Jackson, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I think it was.
Okay. Let me ask this, Alderman Smith, and I know that I've heard, but I guess my question would have to come back to how our ordinance is written in regards to 2 signs per alderman, and it's only 1 per year.
Two signs.
I mean, only one sign per year per alderman, that is allowed per ward. Is there, I hate to say it one over the other, but then the other one had to come back the following year if council is not receptive to Alderman January's request. So which one would you rather see, I guess, this year, and then come back the following year to request the other one? Did I correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
I didn't totally hear everyone say
And
that they were.
the only reason I say that, because we've had that discussion before,
Right.
where an alderman had requested a street naming and then came back that same year and requested another one, and we had to hold off a year to do it. So we have had that, and I can't remember where it was or which one, but I do remember we had to go through this process and hold off a year before we brought the other one back. So would Ms. Richards be more receptive to you, or Glenn Johnson to actually come before council for a vote? Huh? Well, I mean, it's
Yes.
through his ward that you're presenting, I think, and I think it says this in the, ordinance that it goes in front of, through the alderman that is requesting it.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Coleman.
Alderman Smith, I want to tell you that as the alderman of your ward, I will support you in whatever person you decide. The same way I would support, Mr. Evans if he came to me, or Mr. Jackson. Those are your wards, and we have to be careful as aldermen, to make sure that, we respect each other professionally and, courtesy. And as professional as your colleague, and as your ward, I will support any decision, that you make. The mayor, has brought up a good point about only one person. I thought it was 3 per ward, so, I would have to agree with, the Mr. Evans and the rest of the council. If the ordinance says 1 person, then you have to pick 1 person for now, right? But the flip side of this is I want all the aldermen to know we run this show. So what I mean by that is if he picks 1 now, we can turn around next month and pass an ordinance to pick the second guy, if that's what we chose to do. But as of right now, at the current ordinance, we can only pick 1, and whoever that 1 is, you know, I'm gonna support you. Now, if you wanna come back and say, hey, Anthony, write me up an ordinance, put it on the council floor, let me see if I can get that second person in, I'm with you. I'll write it up and let's see if the council votes for it. But as of right now, I can only support you on that 1 person that you pick. That's just where I stand. So I just want to be clear.
Well, I mean, either, yeah, Alderman January, sure.
I would just recommend, Alderman Smith, go back to the both of them, explain our ordinance, and see which one would be willing to wait a year. Maybe that will help you with your decision. I know you can't make that decision right now tonight, but at least, you know, it'll give you the opportunity to figure out how you want to handle this. Just my recommendation.
I have a question. Okay, thank you. That was good. What about the suggestion Alderman, January said about her making this,
No, ain't happening.
Mr.
That
Chairman?
needs to be an ordinance.
Yeah.
Mr. Say you don't get a sign anyway.
That is true.
You gotta get 1 before you can get 2.
And,
But-
Mr. Mayor?
Okay. Yeah, doesn't seem like that's gonna go. So,
Mr. Chairman, can I get another general consensus? What would everybody, and I'm not agreeing, I'm just asking, like, like I see your order, I'm just asking, right? What do you guys feel about giving, Alderman Smith special permission, to have 2 this year
No.
with the ordinance?
No.
Just with the general, that's what I'm saying. Do you guys want me to change the ordinance? Would you guys be in support? Or I'll be wasting my time, or
As
so is
chairman of the
one?
Judiciary Committee, I'm not in favor of changing.
Okay, all right. So I'm just asking that question. So so Alderman Smith, you know where everybody stands, right? You're gonna pretty much gotta pick 1, and whoever you pick, I'm gonna support you.
Mayor,
Alderman,
how can you try to get 2 and you don't even have 1? I'm trying.
well, it's
according to the ordinance, I do have 1.
According to the
ordinance, I can pick.
But you don't have that person to vote on. You can vote on it or not. You don't know if it's gonna make it or not.
it still has to come in front of
Right,
council,
still
what
gotta
that's to
come in
say.
front of council. So,
So I mean, at this point, there's a decision has to be made which one will come in front of council. And at that point, council's gotta make a decision if that's gonna move forward or not. And that's what,
All right.
okay?
I'll get
So,
back.
so if you wanna come back and,
Yeah.
and then we'll, present that one name to in front of council and, see which direction council wishes to go.
for the record, can I make one statement?
Yes.
This is our city, the city of North Chicago. It don't matter what ward you in or what you decide to sit here and say, well, it's your ward. No, it's not our ward. We represent a ward. We represent part of the city. I'm a third ward representative. That's not for anything that goes on in there. I want to try to bring the best, but that's not for me to decide. This is what I want. If it ain't right, I'm not supporting not one person up here if it ain't right. All of them is my colleagues. If I'm wrong, they could tell me I'm wrong. If I'm right, they could tell me I'm right. But I'm not gonna support you just because we colleagues. I don't support you on something that's right. Now, and I just wanna be clear about it. I don't want nobody, I'm not picking on Kenny. I just want what's right. That's all I'm asking. That's it.
Mr. Chair.
Okay,
I want to respond to that because I was the only one that said something like that. And he might be talking about me. Mr. Smith, the reason why I support you is because you are elected by your people, right? And your decisions affect your ward, right? So it's not that I support you, but I support the chair that you sit in and the people that put you there, right? And if the people don't like the job that you're doing, then they will vote you out of that chair. But as long as the people continue to vote you in that chair, I'm going to support the people in your ward that voted you in there. That's all.
All right, so you'll come back with a name and we'll move forward.
Yes.
Okay? All right, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Been moved by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman January, that the committee as a whole stand adjourned. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
No, you ain't, you better not, yeah. Nope, don't do it. And you been not calling, you sure been not calling. Now you're really messed up. Now you're really messed up. You really messed up now.